Oh, can you hear me now? Oh man, I feel like it's only appropriate that we start, the stream with some technical issues here. Thank you, Colleen. We are back. So yeah, welcome to my new background. Welcome to I guess AATT version 2. Really excited to do this again. So I know it's been 3 months since I've streamed, so maybe just spend a few minutes telling you about why. So yeah, I just moved to New York. It was much harder than I expected. Was much more complicated. But I'm here. I'm really excited to be back. Um, Huge thanks to Colleen and Steven and a bunch of other folks who kind of helped me come back. So yeah, really excited. Um, and yeah, so it's a new place, it's a new stream, but it's going to be as it's always been. So welcome, Grilled Cheese Dude. If you're new here, Automate All Things is a weekly stream where I teach you how to use no-code tools. Usually I have a guest where that person is teaching us something, whether it's a new tool, a new workflow, something like that. But yeah, it's been 3 months since I haven't streamed, I guess. But yeah, really excited to be back and on today's stream, we're going to be rebuilding Wordle. I have absolutely no credit when it comes to this build. This was built by Nathan, a colleague of mine at Airtable, who a Monday morning decided, hey, it'd be cool to play Wordle in Airtable. And I think that's the kind of attitude I can only agree with. So I'm also very excited to build Wordle in Airtable using his base as a guidance. So yeah, I'm going to share the base throughout. We're going to try to get as close as we can to like building out the whole thing today, but I think we're not probably going to have time in the next 50 minutes to like build Nathan's version. So I might skip a few of like the the little edge cases of Wordle. But yeah, we're going to spend the next 45 minutes building Wordle together. And I have a bunch of streams lined up. So I think the next 2 months of streams are scheduled. So yeah, really excited to be back. Really excited to have you. Hey Cole, aka Grilled Cheese Dude. Hey Trip, welcome. Glad to have you. So yeah, so let me know in the chat at any moment if you have any questions or things you want me to spend more time on. You're coming live, so that's the value that you get. I do have a new, not a new roommate, I guess. My girlfriend's cat might be in the area. I'd love to have him say hi on the stream today. So a cute little furry buddy. That's why. But yeah, let's kick it off. Really excited to jump in. So our agenda for today, first, we're gonna play a game of Wordle. So it seems like two people come here just for Airtable. We're gonna learn about what Wordle is, how it works, and then we're gonna do like the script outline. So we're gonna be doing a lot of scripting today. So I'll just give you like the steps that we need to create in order to rebuild Wordle in Airtable, and then we'll kind of kick it off, right? So you guess a word. We're gonna do those validations. I should be cycling through here. So we're at step 3. And then we're going to check whether it's the right word, whether they have the right letters. We're going to return that response. And then we'll probably wrap up with like a few of the edge cases, making sure that the base works properly. And I will give you the link to the base itself that has the whole script. It'll be in the description. So you can start off with an actual version of Wordle that you can play with your colleagues, put in automations, really upgrade from there. It's something we love doing at Airtable. So yeah, let's kick it off. Go back here. Okay, so let me jump into my base here. Boom. Actually, no, we wanted to play a game of Wordle first. So I have not played Wordle today. And we are going to play with the stream. So can you guys see Wordle? You should be able to see Wordle. Okay. So how Wordle works. Hey, Russell, welcome. Is that you try to guess what the word of the day is. It's always 5 letters. I like to start with irate, and I will totally be cheating. So if you have the word, if you know today's word, don't say it in the chat. But if you have a good guess based on what I'm inputting, please do guess. So you input a word. Okay, and this means that none of these gray means that IRATE are not in the word. So I'm looking for something with an OP Oh man, I thought this was gonna be so much easier. I hope like bonus feels like a good word, right? It uses a lot of those. It's got like bonus. Okay, this just became a Wordle stream. This is no longer an Airtable stream. Let's see if bonus works. Okay, so we have SON, and the yellow for folks who are not Wordle pros. This means that the letter is there, but it's not in the right position. So this means that the S is either here, here. It's in the first four letters. So we can do snout? No. Snoot? Is snoot a word? Right? Oh man, Russell, that's rough. That's a snoot? Okay, so we have S-O. S-O. And then I have like the letters, so S-O-P? B? I don't know. But the O, no, sorry, it's S something. So S, no, not S-T. S shout? No. Short? No. Shove? No. Come on, I need you. Like, we're already wasting time here. So shoot? No, I already did shoot. Stout? No, we lost the T. We lost the T. Slew? Slow needs an N. You're right. I do need an N. Sloan? Is that a word? Okay, now we at least now we know where the words go. So this P, could we try P? Spock. This is why I don't spout. Come on. Scout. No. Scooch. Corn. Oh man, that was bad. Spoon. Okay, well no. Okay, it was shown. There was a 0 chance that we got that one. Okay, well hopefully that was like a good intro into snore. No, we had no E. Shown. There was literally 0 chance I would ever get that. And so what's cool about Wordle is you have this little share, right? So if I drop that in the chat, it should work. Actually, no, if I drop it into Twitter, and that's something we want to recreate as well, right? So like if I go to Twitter, I can like copy paste and it'll say Wordle, that I didn't get it, and it'll give you like your score, right? So yeah, so now we understand kind of how Wordle works, right? Let's go ahead and start recreating that in Airtable. So, luckily Nathan kind of gave me his base structure. So let me just walk through the base and how the base is structured, and then we'll talk about the script, right? So essentially you input yourself as a player, right? And then you can click play, which will execute the script and have you play. And then Nathan, being, the amazing person that he is, created a leaderboard, right? So for every day, every player has a date where they get their Wordle score. Yesterday I cheated and I got it right. And then there are two kind of bases in the back, or tables in the back end, which pick a word, right? So now I have like brave is going to be today's word, and that's what we're going to be working with. And so there's a today view, which filters to today and has today's word, right? And this is the list of all possible words. So you either have to come in the morning and pick a word, or use an automation to pick that word. So what we want to do is, as a player, I press play. The script is going to go ahead and fetch the word of the day, and it's going to ask guesses of the user and say, okay, like, what is your word guess? And then return these little things right here. So gray, if the letter is not in the word at all. Orange, if it is, but not in the right place. And then green, if it is and is in the right place. And it should let you guess 6 times. And based on your guesses, should output something that looks like this at the end and throughout, right? So that is the kind of what we're going to do. So let me actually take what I just said and put it into the script. So we're going to start here. We're going to press play. Now let's go add a new scripting app. Now, I see a bunch of folks that just joined, so let me know if you are Wordle experts, Wordle noobs, and if like everything that we're doing is making sense. All right. Okay, let's go ahead. So we're adding that scripting app. I'm gonna assume, there are no Wordle experts in here because, we were bad. We were bad at that Wordle that we ran 2 minutes. Cool. Okay, so let's kind of think through the script first. So first, I need to input kind of information from Airtable, which is I need, the Wordle, the word of the day, right? I need the player, things like that. But for now, I think it'd actually be easier if we just put those like hard coded, right? So I will do that after, but instead of going to fetch it in Airtable, actually I'll let you guys let me know if what you prefer. Are folks more interested in the mechanics of the Wordle or of like scripting itself? So let me know in the chat if you're like new to Airtable scripting, if you're like medium to knowledgeable, or if you're like super advanced. And if folks are mainly new, I'll actually go through and like go from Airtable and fetch the word. But if you are more advanced and know what you're doing, let me know in the chat. That'll kind of adjust what I'm doing. So Cole, intermediate. So I imagine you know how to like pull information from Airtable. Okay, so then like let me know in the chat and I'll come back to this. But first we want to pull information, right? And then we're gonna kind of ask the user, the player, their guess. So this is like input, right? And everything here, we wanna like ask. Okay, so everyone's intermediate. So I guess I will not fetch. So follow-up question. This was my bad. Do you know how to fetch information from Airtable? And so here we're going to loop until we've played 6 times. So failed 6 times. Or that the user guessed the word. Right? So like everything within here, we're going to have to loop 6 times or until the users guess the right word. So we're going to ask the player their guess. And then, we're going to check, is it a real word? Like, because I can't put in fake words. Second, is it 5 characters? Because you can't put in words that are not 5 characters. Then we're gonna say, does it? Maybe we'll do this. Does it have special characters? Like we only want English. Sorry, not English. We don't want like ampersand and or like things like this, right? So those are the validation. From there, once you kind of pass all of those tests, we're gonna say, go letter by letter, and then say, is the letter in the right, is this the right spot? So, and then we're going to say, does this letter, is the letter in the word? And finally, what is that score for that round? Now, I think high level, that makes sense. And then we're going to say, okay, you've played once. We're going to come back here if you don't yet have the word. As the guess, check if it's a real word. Does it have 5 characters? Does it have special characters? Check letter by letter, return score for that round, increment the round, and increment the score for the whole Wordle game. Okay. Yeah, that feels right. Let me know if anyone's kind of missing anything or feels like I'm missing something here. I think that makes sense. So, okay, I think that makes sense. So let me just put word. So let word equal, and then what did we have? We had today's word is brave. Checking on time. So let word equal. That's what we're striving towards. And then we're going to say, okay, so let word equal brave. So first thing is I want to know which, like, should this player keep playing? right? So they can only play 6 times. So I need a way of incrementing the number of times they've played. And, right, I need to kind of put a variable that says, like, can you still play on? So I'm going to call this let play on equals 1. And we're going to change this to 0 if the user gets the right word, if the player gets the right word, or has 6 guesses, right? So I'm also going to say, let number of guesses. I am terrible at naming variables. I'm really sorry. And we're calling the word brave for now, but eventually we'll want to pull this from Airtable. We're going to have like a score. Oh no, my keyboard is acting up. Okay, let's score equal. And then I'm just going to let this equal /n, which will just be, a backspace. That way we'll always have a little bit of space between what is being said. Oh, yeah, we did. Sorry, let me move. Thank you, Colleen. We're now in validations. Nice. Nicely done. Thanks for that catch. Okay. And, let's also give them like a score final. This is their final, how many, this right here. And this is what, we're going to keep incrementing. So Wordle number, you have an X here that says if you guessed it or not. And then you're going to have like your little increment at the beginning. That might be a little tricky. I don't know how we're going to do that, but let's get to it. Okay. Like that. So far making sense. Let me know in the chat how we're feeling. Okay, so we're going to first, while, I'm just going to say while play on 1, right? So this is saying do this. We're going to do all of this. And if they get the right word, we're going to switch play on to 0, or that their number of guesses is 6. So I'm going to say word guess. Maybe I should call this, I'll call this something else. I should call this, no, let's call this word, and then word guess is equal to input await input.text async. And here we're going to say, type your guess for today's Wordle. Wordle? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And we're going to call this, yeah, I think that makes sense. Why is it giving me an error? Oh, let. Okay. Then, sure, how are we feeling? How's the speed here so far? I want to make sure that I'm not going too quickly. Okay. So type your guess for today's Wordle. And then let's just do word guess equal word guess dot to lowercase. And then I think I need this. So this is going to put it in lowercase, but it's not checking whether it's 5 characters or anything like that. That'll be our first kind of step. Boom. Okay, and then let me just console log word guess. Always word guess. Always a good practice, right? Okay, so far it should just ask us what is your name. Oh, I forgot to remove this. Whoops. This is just the default. Okay, run that again. Type your guess for today's Wordle. Let's say Lovell. I don't know. Okay, and then it just keeps going. So that's good. So the first thing we're going to check, is it 5 characters? I think that's probably the best thing to do first. And then we're going to say if, then our condition here, word guess dot length equal 5 dot len string. What can I do with a string? Check. Restart the whole thing. if, oh, it's not a comma. I needed a comma there. Word guess dot. Then do I have length? I do have length. Equal 5. That is like, you should continue. So we're saying, okay, if the word is 5, actually, I'd rather do if it's not 5. Is not equal to 5. In that case, this is going to be the true. So we're saying if that is not 5, we're going to say output.text. This word does not have 5 letters. Please guess again. Okay, we don't need to do anything else, right? I might just do here as console.log. This word has 5 letters. Let's continue. How are we feeling on the speed so far? Am I going too quickly, too slowly? Let me know. Cool. So let's run this. I'm always worried of going too slowly, but then I feel like people feel like I go too quick. So yeah, you will all come live, so you can actually tell me if the speed is right for you, and then everyone watching later be damned. Cool. So that's our first thing. So let's test both cases. Let's go. I can't even think of a 5-letter word. Irate. So this should be good. Let's continue. And then if I say irated, this word does not have 5 letters. Please guess again. Right? But it's not counting as one of your guesses. Right? So it won't count as one of your guesses. So that was the first validation. Right? The second one is going to be, is it a real word? As if you go into Wordle and, just because how you could cheat was just put like the letters you think are there in, a jumble, like you would put all the vowels first and then a bunch of consonants. That makes sense. So we want to avoid that and force you to use a right word. Now, Airtable, obviously, like built in, doesn't have a library, but there's this very convenient API right here, which free dictionary.dev. Let me drop that in the chat. So Trip, yeah, absolutely. I will absolutely publish the script in the Airtable community. I also have the link to the base. So if you do !base, you get a link to the base. And I'll have, I'll ask Nathan how comfortable, he feels me publishing it into like the universe or whatever like that. Cool. Okay. So the second step here is going to be pinging the API to see if it's a real word, right? And so I have this API right here, the free dictionary API. I just dropped the link. It's a very simple API, no API key. You literally just go to here and then put the word in there. So if I do the word hello, it says hello is a word. And if I do the word blah, 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 it's going to say no definitions found. So what we want to do is call this API. Now remember, any URL is a get call. So that means that we could do a get call to this API. So I'm going to go, this word is not 5 letters. Let's check if it's a real word. We're going to do let real word equal await remote fetch async. And then we want the URL, right? If I'm not mistaken. Actually look at fetch. Always easier to just do it like this. Browser fetch right here. So let's copy paste. I am not cheating a little bit. Let real word equal await remote fetch sync. Then we're going to put in our URL right here. Boom. And we're going to have to change this word for the word guess. So our method is going to be post. We don't need a body. Let's format this a little better. That. Comma, we have a headers. That. Accept. application JSON, something up here, like one too many of these bad boys, or one too few. Where did I mess up here? One goes with that one. Oh, there's missing a little. Aha. Method is going to be a get. Right, so if it works in the URL, if it works in the browser, it's a good question from Colleen. So if I am able to make it run in the URL, I know that it's a get because when you call an API from the browser, it's a get call, right? So it gets the HTML. In this case, where it's returning JSON. But yeah, get the URL part again. Absolutely. So maybe I went a little quickly there. Happy to spend some time here. So if I go to this, the free dictionary API, let's spend some time here. This is saying the URL that you need to call is this one right here, right? So it says api.dictionary api.dev/api/v2/entries English, and then the word that you are looking for. So this is the variable part of the URL. So if you want to see if it's a real word, you need to replace that word right here with the word that you're looking for. And it's just a simple get call. There's no way to post. Post would be like, I want to add words to the dictionary, which we're definitely not going to do. So it's going to be a get call to this URL simply by replacing this right here with the word that we are kind of asking it for to check. So let's come back here and real word dot. And just to test this, let's go this on here. Let's just put the word hello. So I'm not actually passing the word that is being asked of us. I'm just passing in the word hello. And what we're hoping for is that we get the same thing that we see right here, right? So like a JSON with all of this information that we're frankly just going to check if it exists, right? Okay, so let's run. My Wordle is irate. Doing the API call, and if all went well, right, it returns an object with the word hello, right? Okay, great. So that means that the API worked and that, you know, there's a bunch of information, but what we want is really just the fact that, like, does this return a non-error? So next step here is actually to change this URL to put the word, give yourselves a little more space. How's the sizing on this? Is this better? Is that worse? Let me know. So we want the guess, the word guess, go right here. Now, if I just do this, it's just going to go and ask the API for the actual like string word guess. So what I want to do is I want to input the variable word guess. So to do that in a string, you first have to put backticks. And then you have to do question mark and then word guess like that. Right. So here now it's going to actually go in and take what's in word guess and put it in the string. Now let's do this again. Stop this. And then let's do two things. Let's actually input a word that doesn't exist. That's 5 letters. So something like this. So it's a $. So it's backticks and then $, and then the open brackets or parentheses, whatever you call, like sideways mustache, essentially. And then the name of the variable itself. So let's run this. So we see title, no definitions found. That's one way we could say, okay, if the real word returns this, then we need to tell the person that, hey, what you put in was not the right word, right? And then we should, that's part of it, our validation. So let's go ahead and do that, right? So in this else, we want to see, we're going to say else if, now that's probably not like the best way of doing it, right? So for any developers watching this, I'm deeply sorry. But it's an efficient way. I guess it's the way that kind of makes sense. So if, so I'm gonna say, I'm gonna put this into a variable. I'm gonna, so I can go and like check it. So here, right, I'll let real word check equal await.json. That. So if real word check dot title, what I'm doing here is I'm just going to title right here. So I'm saying if the title is no definitions found, actually let's do not, is not no definitions found, equal, no, not equal. I think not equal is okay. Yeah, not equal. If that's true, and this will be play on, check whether the word is today's word. And then else, we go into output.text. Hey, not equal. Hey, this word, I don't think, hey, this word does not exist. Try again. Okay, does that make sense? Let's read that back. I'm realizing this took way more time, so we're gonna have to not speed through. Maybe I'll do a part two of building Wordle, but we'll get through the essentials, I think, in the next 20 minutes. So first we check whether it's 5 characters. That's all good. Second, we do an API call, check whether the word, and then we say if the real world is not equal to no definitions found, which means that it did find. We're gonna do just a quick console log here that says, you know, this is a real word. Let's check it. And then if that's not true, we're going to go ahead and, you know, make the user play again, not increment his tries, their tries, I should say, or anything like that, and bring them back to the top. Okay, I'm going to skip the special characters just because in the essence of time, but it should be relatively easy. And then we're going to bring this into here. But in the script that I'll share with the base, we'll have everything. Cool. Okay, so let's try that out. We have 2 use cases here. If it is a real word, our expectation says this is a real word. Let's check it. If it's not a real word, let's try again. Let's run. Our real word is going to be irate. Okay, that worked. Possible. Good job, us killing it. You know, woo. Okay, and let's check if it's not a real word. Irate, the pirate way of writing the word irate. Does not exist. Try again. Amazing. Okay, cool. Okay, so that is the validation piece. Now, there is a kind of validation check. You should also do you know, some regex to check whether there are any special characters, but I'll leave that to like the script because now we're getting into like the fun part. The fun part is checking word by word, or sorry, letter by letter, whether letter by letter, whether the word is correct, right? So I guess, is it easier to check? Yeah, so let's do the whole check. And I think a good way of checking is like, if you have 5 green squares, you've won, right? So we don't need to do that check at the front. So if you've entered the right word, you'll have 5 green squares. We can do that check at the end to see if you've won, right? And then if you haven't won, we can kind of bring you back to the top. So I think we can start going letter by letter. I think that makes sense. Okay, so let's do this letter by letter. Am I making sense here? I feel like I'm again, too quick, too slow. Let me know. Always curious. Okay, so for, I'm gonna call this var I equals 0. Is this returning the guess? So this is returning, we've checked, let me just pull this up. So right now we've checked whether it's the right length. We've checked whether it's a real word. Now, oh, you're talking about the agenda. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, we are at step 4 here. Return guess. Ash, it's an honor to have you here, even late. You've come at the right part. We've done the boring, what I think is the boring part, which was just checking whether, if the diction, like it's a real word. We just did check what the length of the word is. Now we're actually getting into the meat of it, which is checking letter by letter whether we have the right Wordle. So we're gonna say up until, so this is gonna do 5 loops, right? We want to do 5 loops. We're gonna say for I equals 0. Every time we're going to loop this, we're going to say I is less than word guess length. This is 5 essentially. So as long as I is less than 5, so we're going to loop 5 times. And then every time you come back here, increment I of 1. Here we're going to say, we're going to just say, okay, and this is what I guess I should have said before, is that every string in JavaScript is an array of letters. So if I just go console log word guess I, it's just going to give us 5 console logs of like the letters, right? So let's do this. Let's just so I can show you. So if my word is irate, it says IRATE. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to check this letter against the first letter of here. Then we're going to check it against the second letter, the third letter. We're not going to do it in exactly that way. JavaScript has some like ways of making this easier to say like, hey, is this element I in this array of Brave? But first, we're going to check, is the letter that we selected in the position that we selected, equivalent in the other word. So what I mean by that is, if I started my word with B, I'm going to check if the B is right here. And if that's the case for that round, I'm just going to output a little green square. Okay. So here we're going to say, okay, let's just do a few things here. So let guess. Oh, my keyboard is acting up here. Yes. Yes. Letter equal word guess. Let me just. This is the problems with moving. Okay, so let word guess I, like that. This is the letter that we just guessed. Where am I here? Lost myself a little. Okay, so guess letter is equal. So if we just console log guess letter, that should just give us the same output as here. I put in irate. Oh man, my keyboard is really acting up. Okay, it gives us the same output. So the first thing I'm going to check is if the first letter, so if guess letter is equal to word I, oh, I misspelled that. Yes. Huh. Equal, I guess. Why is it giving me a guess letter as an error? Oh, am I, because I'm not here. If, so increment this. So what this is telling us, so this is saying if the first letter of our guess is equal to the first, not the first letter, so any letter, right? So if I got a letter right, then I want to, let's call this round score. And I should initialize this to round score equal round, like what I had before. Oh man, my keyboard is just super annoying today. One more time. All right, round, there we go. Round score plus, and let's just give it that little square. Let me copy paste that green square from somewhere else. Okay, and then let me initialize round score at the beginning. Let round, oh, I have, okay, yeah, round score equal this. And I wonder where I should put that. So I don't want to initialize it every time the person, I want it every time they enter this right here. I want to reset that to, no, before, right? Because I have, yeah, before, that makes sense. So question from Ash, do you have any suggestions for intro level JavaScripting? What I did was I took Wes Boss's class, Intro to JavaScript. That's one thing I would recommend. Then the other thing I would recommend is learning Airtable scripting that I did with Geo. That's no joke how I learned how to write basic scripts like this. So it's a 4-part, 4-hour series. I think it's like the best one if you're just looking to write JavaScript in Airtable. If you do find anything that you find useful, please let me know. I'm always happy to include other resources in that video or elsewhere. So Ash, yeah, let me know what you find. But I think like a mix of intro to any JavaScript. The challenge you'll find is that a lot of those JavaScript courses are like in HTML pages. So they're like doing JavaScript to run on HTML and CSS and update websites, which is not exactly what we do. Whereas if you're looking for something more back-end, it's often like Node.js, which again is not what we're doing. So did you kind of recommend the learn Airtable scripting? And that's how I learned, and that's why I'm kind of not the best at this, to be frank. So yeah, let's jump into okay, so round score. So I need to initialize round score somewhere, and I need to initialize it after every time the person comes back, right? So I think it's here. I think I need to initialize it right before the person guesses. So let's initialize here. I think that makes sense. Okay, let's try it. So I think what we want to do here is, if it's right, what our expectation, so else, for now, I'm just going to say round score equal round score plus, let's just do black. Round score. Okay, so if we get a letter in the right place, that's going to give us, so let's run this. So let's find a word that has 5 letters let's call bravo. We should get 4 and then 1 black. Oh, I forgot to console log. Let's console log console.log round score. Actually, let's do it when we get out of this loop here. So it's console log here. Round score. Okay, let's do that again. Stop this, run. So bravo is the word we got. Okay, that actually makes sense. So we got 4 out of 5. And okay, so that works. I think the other thing we want to do is check if it's not in the right place. Go back to yeah, so it's the right letter, but the word contains the letter but is not in the right place. So that's going to be step 2. So we actually first want to check, okay, is it the right letter? So here we're going to do another if. So then if, and then we can do an else if right here. Else if we want to put this else, where did the, let me undo that. If boom, let's kind of remove this one. Okay, so I'm saying if, next is else if. My keyboard, my God. I just changed the batteries on this. Else if. Now we're going to check here. Does word dot contains, so there's this thing called, is it find? Includes. Includes, I think, is what I want. So includes. And what we want, so does the word include the word that we just guessed? So let me just check JavaScript. Sorry, doing this. JavaScript include. So this will, it checks into your array, which luckily a word is an array in JavaScript, dot includes, and then what you want to check. So the output of this will be true, right? And then cat, dog, bat, cat will be true, at will be false. So what we want to do here, check, does the word is Wordle, right? Include our word guess, I. If that's true, we're going to say round score equal round score plus yellow. So it didn't find it, but it does include it. So it's going to go here. And then I think our last one is else round score equal round score plus, and then the black one. Okay, so now let's console log rah. So now I need your help. I need to figure out a word that has like some letters with brave, but not all letters, right? Yeah, this all seems good. Okay, so let's try that. Let's try that. I could do raves with an S. I think that should return 4 yellow and 1 black. Oops, I forgot to console log. Of course I did. Here. I just like to put in some suspense, you know? So, gotta keep everyone on their toes, including myself. Okay, stop that. Let's run. Raves. Okay, 4 yellow, 1. Okay, yeah, wow. I'm surprised. Go us. Okay, so I know they only have 5 minutes here, so let's kind of do the loop and just put the conditions for win. Brava. Is that a word? Is brava a word? Let's try it. Brava. Does not exist. It's been refused, Colleen. I'm sorry. Okay, and so then at every time we do that loop, we want to score, right? Okay, yeah, let's put the conditions for getting out of play on really quickly, and then that'll be all for today. So here we're going to do win conditions. I think we still want to be in this else. No, we still want to be in this one right here. So we're saying we're continuing here, right? So once we get out of this loop, we want to be, this is all related to the word we just guessed. Okay, right here. So here, once you've done this, we want to increment a few things. The number of guesses goes +1. Number of guesses equal, I think it's plus. You can just put plus. You can just do equal. Number of, guesses +1. Then we want to increment score, right? That's our score. Score equals score plus round score with a line break, which is \n. So if you guess multiple times, I think that's it, right? This is the letter in the word. There. That. And now we just want the win conditions. So if word equal, and the word guess equal. I wonder if you could just do if round score. Okay, I only have 2 minutes here. So we'll end here for today. And I will shoot you guys the template because I don't want to spend I do want to go over an hour, so I'll just send everyone the template. But what you would need to do is just create play on the change to 0 when you either have the word. So word. So right here, so you say once you come out of here, so when conditions. I'm gonna chuck this keyboard out the window once the stream ends. So the win conditions are or the lose conditions, like the stop condition. So player guesses word. more than 6 guesses. And that's pretty much it. So at that point, you just change play on to 0, and then you output the result. So let's say console.log, number of guesses. You have guessed plus times, and then console.log this round's score plus or round score. Okay, so I think that should be like enough for just like playing with the game. Let's run. So someone suggested opera. Right, so we got 3 letters, A, E, R, right, like that. And you have guessed 2 times because we've incremented it before. Should actually put this. And then let's try brave. Right? It says 3 times use this round score is blah blah blah, and that's when you can do. So I will share you guys the script, which is actually like maybe 20. It's right here. Just a little bit longer, right? In that it actually gets the right word of today. It's not hard coded. And then creates a record at the end, and they just have victory conditions, right? So as victory, defeat, and then you can continue playing if you are under these conditions. So shout out to Nathan for building this. Hopefully this was like enough to get everyone started with scripting. I'm gonna drop a link in the description with kind of a link to the whole base and the whole script, so you can really play around with it. And yeah, it was really kind of good to be back. I wish we could have gotten to the end, but I do want to kind of be conscious of everyone's time. So I'll be back next week with another stream. So let me check what's on the agenda tomorrow, or next week, I should say. Upcoming live streams. I'm doing a stream with FinSuite on managing your clients getting off of Webflow billing. The week after, we're building custom maps in any stream. I'll actually be streaming with FinSuite tomorrow. You're totally right, Colleen. We're going to do some stuff with Jason in a couple weeks talking about Coda. So lots of really cool streams upcoming. Huge thanks to you all for joining. Really appreciate it. And yeah, really excited to be back streaming and building some cool stuff, including Wordle in Airtable. So with that, huge thanks. I'll see everyone back next week. Bye, Colleen. Bye, Ash. Thanks for joining. Sean, it was good to see you. Really appreciate all of you kind of coming out, and I will be back next week. All right, that's it for me. Bye, y'all. Have a great day.